Brutal greetings from Finland. I am Jerry and this is Rauta channel, and this time we head to United States of America with some Mad Max themed death trash metal. Those who are familiar with the movie franchise of course already know what I'm talking about. I am from the generation who grew up with movies like Mad Max, especially the second and the third ones. Those were the defining moments when, the post-nuclear world was right there. We had the Cold War and everything was, mirrored in the movie franchise with things like that. I mean, we're talking about beautiful but very, very dark dystopian world where, things are gone to shit. And people kind of cut back to barbaric activities with weird cars, violent gangs and all that stuff. Fantastic stuff by Mel Gibson. I mean, he was starring the movies and all that stuff. But never ever before this I have seen a band that is huge, been hugely impressed by this whole thing, even, to a degree of being like, taking it to a theme here. And that is what Lord Humongous is all about. Now, when I got, contact from the band from Michigan area, not Michigan, Pennsylvania area, Pittsburgh, the city of great food and all, I was like, okay, this name rings a bell. And then it was like, okay, it's Mad Max all over again. Then I, of course, ventured to this Metal Archive site, and already with the band photo you can get this ice hockey mask thing from the second Mad Max movie, and you're like, okay, now it clicks. Then you see this Mad Max movie franchise things, and it all starts making sense. Now, this band is very, very new, 2023, and they already have a couple of singles out, and then, of course, this debut album, which I'm about to review, Raped by the Nukes. And, of course, its cover also is very, very much giving you the Mad Max vibe with the face, muscle body, and all that stuff. If you remember the character from the second Mad Max movie, you're supposed to be like, fuck yeah, I'm stoked. Now, this is a pretty interesting band because, the whole setup is very, very Fallout-like. I'm talking about the video game franchise here. And then again, of course, this dystopian post-nuclear war world where things are just very crazy. And of course, it makes a lot of sense to make the trash metal out of it. Why so? Well, trash has always been very, very societal music in that sense. So, dystopian themes, they fit both worlds, death and trash metal. But trash in particular is something that, in my opinion, clicks in a wonderful ways with the given style. But now let's show you the CD, what I got. This is actually CDR, self-financed by the band. I'm a little bit wondering why, because in my opinion this album is good enough for a lot of labels. They could have probably gotten a proper label to release it without being CDR and all that stuff. But I don't know, sometimes bands go in mysterious ways. Maybe they were not too keen to wait for an answer, but that's probably why this is CDR instead of CD. But nonetheless, my CD player, even if sometimes really picky about it, decided to play it nicely. So it looks pretty sweet. Classic black, red, white colors, which are very often related into war metal bands. This also came with a patch here, having the band symbol, and then a nice pin, which I think will perfectly fit my microphone back when I'm going to festivals and shit. Let's get back to the Metal Archive site, because this is what we are talking about here. This doesn't have all the song lengths listed here, and I'm too lazy to fill them right now. But let's just say this is some 35 minutes of an album in total, having 7 tracks and all that stuff. It starts actually pretty nicely, first with an intro that is taken from Mad Max, obviously, or Mad Max movies. There are also other parts, like Mel Gibson having a part and all, at least as far as I can remember, and some other parts. And then music goes more trashy, more death metallic, like having a ball bouncing back and forth, and then you have some more melodic death metal parts coming into play. So it's technically speaking a kind of a blend of 3 different styles: melodic death metal, kind of old school death metal, and trash metal. Death trash, once again, being a subgenre of its own, but really if we want to dissect it into pieces, we could really make the argument this is of three different styles, even if they are just variations of basically one bigger genre. And as such, this has the nice kind of energy, fits the mood here. This is not super overly produced, obviously, because it's like self-financed and all, but that doesn't mean that the sound is weak, muffled, or whatever. I think it's actually very well balanced for this kind of stuff, and it supports both the trashier and the deathier sounds. Now, when it gets more melodic death metal side, I would say maybe this is not the best kind of production, but also partially because I think the melodic parts are not the best parts of this album. I feel that when it gets kind of a more trashier, it gets actually more powerful and fits more on the violent side of things here, having to kind of a energetic momentum here going on, and as such, like, yeah, let's headbang a little bit, which then again fits the imagery of, Mad Max movies. I mean, I'm talking about leather jackets, I'm talking about those crazy ass cars, vehicles, what have you. I'm talking about the boomerangs that just cut your fingers off and all. So yeah, I think this band is more, well, it's better on Trasher's side than those mellow death parts. But I'm not gonna be super picky. I think it's actually pretty nice of a debut album, and I think that it should have gotten a proper label to just, boost it around, get it distributed properly and all. So I hope this review will make a little bit of a difference and you will check it out, the band's music. It's not the greatest thing ever, obviously. Obviously, I mean, classics only come once in a century or so, but still, it's pretty good enough for you to check out if you're into death and trash metal in general, or death trash, whatever. And of course, if you like it, I totally think you should support the band, whether it's a digital purchase on their Bandcamp or getting the physical copy with some neat things to go with. For Mad Max fans, obviously, this is a must listen to. And even if you don't care about the movies or you're too young to even know them, well, give still the band a chance because the music is pretty nice. So, that being said, off you go, do your homework, check out the music, and I, of course, hope you like it. If you don't, too bad, can always win. Now, off you go and check out the movies too. Bye-bye.